Once people learn his middle name was literally Cash, it shouldn't surprise them that James Cash Penney of JCPenny only accepted cash at his stores for more than 50 years. On April 14th, 1902, founder James Cash Penney from Hamilton, Missouri, joined two partners to open the Golden Rule store in the mining town of Kemmerer, Wyoming. Over the next 2 years, they opened stores in two other frontier towns. In 1907, Penney bought out his original partners when they wanted to get out of the business. In 1913, the company rebranded under the new name JCPenny Company, with William Henry McManus as a co-founder. They also partnered with Earl Corder Sams, who ended up being the president of JCPenny from 1914 to 1946. They eventually moved their corporate headquarters to New York City in order to simplify buying, financing, and the transportation of goods. The store grew rapidly as it opened its 500th store in 1924 in James Cash Penney's hometown of Hamilton, Missouri. In 1927, JCPenny Co. became a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange, and by 1929, they were up to 1,392 stores. A fun fact for you. In 1940, Sam Walton began working at a JCPenney in Des Moines, Iowa. Walton later went on to found Walmart in 1962. Penney retired in 1946, accepting the title of honorary chairman. While the company continued to operate under his original principles for the next decade, in 1958, the firm's traditional policy of cash only, long advocated by Penney as a means of protecting his customers from burdensome debt, gave way to offering store credit cards. The company launched its first large-scale shopping center department store in 1961. JCPenny now began carrying appliances, sporting goods, tools, lawn and garden merchandise, restaurants, beauty salons, portrait studios, auto parts, and auto centers. The expanded offerings allowed JCPenny to compete more directly with other national department stores, including Sears and Montgomery Ward. Those companies' success with mail-order catalog sales encouraged JCPenny to enter the catalog business by acquiring the General Merchandise Company in 1962. The first Penney catalog was issued the following year. On February 12, 1971, James Cash Penney died at the age of 95. All of the company's stores were closed the morning of his funeral on February 16th. That year, the company's revenues reached $5 billion for the first time, and the catalog business finally started making a profit too. JCPenny reached its peak number of stores in 1973, with 2,053 stores. However, the company was hit hard by the 1974 recession, and its stock price rapidly declined. In 1978, the JCPenny Historic District in Kemmerer, Wyoming, was designated a U.S. National Historic Landmark. The so-called Mother Store in Kemmerer opened as the chain's second location in 1904. It still operates, albeit with shorter hours than many other locations, and it is closed on Sundays. The museum, which is in Penney's old home, is open to visit during the warm weather months. In 1983, JCPenny discontinued its appliance, hardware, outdoor equipment, and auto center departments, and they also sold their automotive centers to Firestone. In 1988, the firm relocated its headquarters from New York City to Plano, Texas, near Dallas. By the early 21st century, JCPenny had entered a period of declining sales, and it undertook various efforts to boost revenue. In 2006, the company announced a partnership with Sephora, a cosmetics chain, to open Sephora outlets inside select Penney stores. 2 years later, it launched the American Living brand, a line of clothing, accessories, and home decor developed by the American fashion designer Ralph Lauren. Other brand additions included Linden Street home furnishings and several clothing lines for juniors and young men. In 1990, a study showed that 70% of JCPenney's customers were female. Women's Wear Daily named JCPenney the #1 best store for women's apparel in the country in 1994. When Sears closed its catalog business in 1993, JCPenney became the largest catalog retailer in the United States. Penney celebrated its 100th year in 2002. The JCPenny.com website became the largest online retailer of apparel and home furnishings that same year. After 46 years, Penney's discontinued its popular catalog in 2009, along with its large network of outlet stores. JCPenney made a misstep in 2012 by dramatically changing its structure. JCPenney, renamed JCP, instituted a fair square pricing policy that eliminated sales and promotions. The stores were reconfigured into separate shops. Popular store brands were reduced or eliminated. Sales declined immediately 24%. Their customers were accustomed to sale prices with large discount percentages, and they revolted against the idea of lower everyday prices with no sales. The company admitted that the new sales policies were a disastrous business decision. The company's stock price became extremely volatile, and its credit rating was severely downgraded. Johnson was removed as CEO in April 2013, and former CEO Myron Ullman III was reinstated. Previous pricing policies and merchandise offerings were slowly reinstated. In May 2020, in the midst of the global COVID-19 pandemic, JCPenney filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. And in September 2020, Brookfield Asset Management and Simon Property Group agreed to purchase Penney's for around $800 million in cash and debt. The deal was approved by the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Texas 2 months later. The JCPenney brand is still around in 2022, and the company says there are no plans to change that anytime soon. Thanks for watching Memory Mountain. If you enjoyed this video, please click to subscribe to our channel and hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when we post our next story looking back over the landscape of Americana.